You're listening to the Conference Board of Canada's Mental Health and COVID-19 series with Dr. Bill Howatt, Chief of Research, Workplace Productivity.
Hi, Bill Howatt, Mental Health COVID-19, Conference Board of Canada. I'm here at the end of week 5, having the opportunity to share with you that I'm happy to report after 5 weeks of social isolation, I'm still doing fine. I hope you are doing as well as you can if you're going through the same model and process as I am. And for all you essential workers out there, I can't tell you how grateful we are for you and all you're doing. Now, is this journey for all of us? Now, many of us are starting to get hopeful because we're at the top of this peak. And one of the things that's important is that we're starting to, some of us, get normal to an unnormal situation. What I mean by get normal, we're trying to figure out a new norm. And what the challenge with this is that even though this is going up and we're having all kinds of still challenges, we're not out of the woods yet, folks, is that it's common now at this point in time when people start to see the other side potentially for apathy to set in. I'm going to encourage you to continue to be vigilant and hold the end, and let's get through this and get on the other side. And on the other side, the post-COVID-19 will open up a whole nother set of challenges that we'll have to talk about as in due course. Now, as we come through this process, one of the things I'd like to talk about, and I like ending the week on a positive, because I think it's critical for us to be putting our minds to things that we can actually influence and control. And today, what I want to do is talk about kindness. Kindness, in my mind, in a hard time, is critical for us to facilitate social connections and be building relationships. I'm going to use the mnemonic kind today. And when I think about kind, I start with a K, and the K starts with no little things matter. As you start to interact with people in difficult times where people are somewhat sensitive and people are anxious and worried, because you're going to find people are going to be in 4 buckets when this is over. Some of us are going to return right back to normal. That's going to be, what percent that will be. Some of us are going to go in the cautious bucket, and we're going to still be worried about the concerns and dealing with and catching this until there's a virus. And some of us are going to be in the stressed bucket, and we're going to be worried and strained because financial and job security and fearful. And then some of us are going to be traumatized, dealing with loss of folks, grief, and things I'm going to talk about next week. And what happens is little things now like check-ins and thank yous and acknowledging people. Those little acknowledgments are critical. The I in it is to be mindful to involve people in things. Be interested in sharing what's happening. Provide people information if there's something event. Pay attention to everyone has different needs. Now, I'm an introvert, some are extroverts. We all have different styles and approaches to this. My ask for you is invite the introverts. I may not always come because I might be mentally exhausted and want to discharge and spend some time alone. But the button is be mindful to include everyone and not assume that everyone knows. And we have a tendency sometimes to be pretty focused. So kindness is not to assume, involve people, have people feel included. And notice opportunities where you can do little things that are helpful to other people to demonstrate caring. And what I mean by that is if you can actually say, hey, can I help you with that? I notice you're doing this. And asking people if you can help sometimes they may not need it, but it may create a social connection for them to have a conversation they may not have had. And so that 5 minutes of you asking, can I help, is an opportunity for you to demonstrate some compassion for them as well. And kindness is about that inside part of you being aware of what you can do to support other people. However, what's really interesting is the last letter in this. With intention, if you do good, there's a whole lot of psychology of random acts of kindness can have a positive impact for you. One of the things that's really interesting is our mirrored of how when we're doing good on the outside, it'll actually help reflect us on the inside. And basically, whether we know it or not, mirror neurons, and I won't get into that, on how our physiology works. So kindness for others can actually help us feel good inside when we're doing things for other people. So in a time when we're looking to help you charge your batteries and build some positivity, in a time where some of us, depending on what bucket you're in, can be much harder to achieve and obtain than other people. So with that message, what I'll ask you to do is consider being kind to yourself and kind to others to help put some positive energy out there in a time when we're all going to be looking for that charge. Whether we now know it or not, many of us, our Broca's region, that frontal part of our brain, is working overtime. And there's a lot of us are working overtime. And we're going to talk about fatigue too. We need to be mindful we're a finite resource. And let's spend the weekend being kind to ourselves and others. And I'll ask you to think about that and how and realize when you're doing it the benefits for you. Lots of you out there are doing it now, and lots of you are actually role modeling it. And sometimes what it is just a reminder for us to not so much to be kind to other people, but also to be kind to ourselves. And again, I'll get into a conversation around self-compassion in a bit too. So with that, have a great day, as good as you can. We'll get through this one day at a time, and look forward to seeing you all next week. I guess I don't really get to see you. However, I feel that you're out there somewhere. So have a great day. All the best to you. Hi, Bill Howatt here. Hopefully you're finding these videos of some value. If you'd like to share these, on the lower right of your video, there's a icon you can click. You can send it through your social media feeds, join the Conference Board of Canada social media feed so we can keep you up to date. And if you have ideas, suggestions, please leave your comment so we can consider them. And if you have things that you'd like us to speak to, I certainly will try to do all I can to help out. With that, have a wonderful day.